Hey guys, welcome back to the Scale Model Show. Today I'll be unboxing this Lexus SC430 model. I'll unbox it and I'll show you inside out of all the features that it has. So get comfortable and let's begin. This particular car is made by Maisto, and the box itself is a black box with a display window on the front. That's the side and that's the rear. So on the box itself it tells you some details. For example, over here it tells you the features: opening doors, opening hood, opening trunk, adjustable front wheels, workable steering, independent spring suspension for wheels. Not suitable for children under 3 years of age because of small parts. And then on this side it's got a little line diagram showing all the moving parts. Okay. So if we begin unboxing it, right, there we are. Let's get rid of this box. Okay, so this is a special edition model, and perhaps that is the reason why it's contained within this cage. There's a base here which is screwed down onto, and then it's got these side supports which also prevents the box from being crushed. I've also unboxed other models as well from Maisto, and some of them which aren't special editions don't have this cage. They're just held within a plastic sleeve. So this must be one of their special models. I'm actually a fan of Lexus and I'm quite pleased to be unboxing this. I've actually owned a Lexus myself. Not this particular model, I must add. Okay, so let's get this detached from the base. Right, so here we are in all its glory, unpackaged from the packaging. So just a bit of information about this car. This is a 4-seater, 2-door car. Now one might think that this is a small car. In fact, it's in real life it's quite a large car, and it sits quite high. I've actually seen these in real life and it sits quite high and it's quite long as well. And it's fitted with a 4.3 V8 engine, which is quite a large engine for a small car, which makes it a very smooth, quiet, powerful cruiser. So if we start looking at from the front, so we've got the chrome grille here with this Lexus logo in the center. The grille is perforated just like the original, so there is small space in between these louvers. The headlights, these are xenon headlights, and it's a combined unit, so you've got the main beam and you've got the dipped beam, and then I think these are the indicators here. And then you've also got an orange light in here in the bumper. Now I think these, they could actually be indicators, which is in the US version, because you don't get these in the UK, I know that for sure. So these could either be just blank lights, or they could be turn signals in the USA, so it could be either of those. And then just below here we've also got some imitation air intakes, and then a fog light on each side there. You can tell this is a US version because of the size of the registration plate. This is a typical US plate. Our UK ones are slightly different shape, they're longer and narrower. The other thing that you notice straight away is the paintwork. It's a rich, glossy, shiny paintwork, and it really does make the car stand out, as you can see. Okay, so moving on to the side, we've got the indicator there again, or side turn marker, whichever way you want to call it. We've got these sill plates which make the car sit quite low, as you can see. We've also got the door handles, and these are actually cast out metal and they're part of the door, and they're not actually separate pieces. On some models I've seen that they're actually separate pieces. They are pieces of plastic which are fitted into the door, but on here they're part of the door. Now this is quite good, isn't it? The side mirrors, these have actually got turn signals in them as well. This is quite common. It became quite common on most Lexuses after 2010. Before 2010 they didn't have this feature, but after 2010 this feature started appearing on most of its models. Very nice detail. So as we move towards the back, we've got indicator here to show that this is a petrol cap, and then we've got the orange light indicators here as well. So looking at the back, we've got the Lexus logo in the center. I would have thought that this could have been made better by making it out of chrome. It would have stood out a bit better. And on the actual car it is made out of chrome, and so are the make and the model designation, which is over here. These three items are made of chrome on the real car, but on here they're just like a dull silver decal. And then on the actual boot lid itself, this is quite a nice little touch. You've got the high level brake light, and then you've got a small built-in spoiler on the edge of the boot here. I'm just going to adjust this camera a little bit. Yeah, that's better. And then you've got the tail lights, which have got the indicators built in. So you've got the indicators which are orange, and then you've got the various brake lights, fog lights, around it. Okay, so then moving on to the bumper itself, we've got the registration plate detail, and then there's two small indents here, square ones, and these I believe could be the towing hooks. Just there and there. Or there could be parking sensors as well. But I know for a fact that some of these models came with a reverse camera. And then you've got twin chrome tailpipes here. And then you've got two reverse lights fitted there and there. So moving around to the passenger side rear, we've got the electrical aerial here. Oh, and I forgot to point out also that this sill here, the detail is carried round to the back as well, so this part here, it matches the body lines here. So on the passenger side we've got the same detail here with the door handle and the indicator. These wheels to me look as if, I think the minimum there would be is an 18-inch, and this is a solid alloy wheel, so it's quite a big wheel, they're not small, and I bet the ride would be comfortable in them. I also forgot to point out this little screen here, which helps with the aerodynamics and also prevents some wind. So that's quite a nice touch. Okay, so if we open the doors as you can see are openable, and they are springed. Okay, another nice touch which I've just noticed is the rear view mirror here. It's actually got a real mirror, and if I move my pencil closer you can see quite clearly the reflection of my pencil. So that's very, very good detail that is on this model. And then the actual cars, especially the UK ones, most of them came with leather interior, and this particular model here, this is a car with cream leather. So you've got cream leather front and back, and then you've also got cream leather door inserts. Okay, and I can also tell by looking at this car that this one has electrical seats. Bearing in mind that these cars were fully loaded, okay, so there's not much in the way of features that they didn't have at that time, and they were well ahead of their time in terms of features. And this particular car has electrical adjustment, because I can tell from the buttons on the side there. And then looking at the inside of the door card, we can see quite a bit of detail here. We can see that there's a speaker here, and I know for a fact that this part here is also a speaker, but it doesn't show it quite clearly on this model, but it certainly is something that I've seen on most Lexus cars. And then there's a door pull here, which is normally metal chrome. We've got the electrical window switches just there. I wonder if I can just zoom in into that part here. There you go. And then we've got a warning light here, a red warning light. So when the door is open, it's switched on just to warn oncoming traffic and people. And then we've got a real wood door insert here. And then there's 3 little buttons here, and these are the memory seat settings. So you can set your desired position on the seat, the mirrors, and the seat belt adjuster, and then you can set your memory. And normally there's 3 different settings for 3 different drivers, for example, available on these cars. Okay, so moving on to the interior. We've got the rear view mirror. Again, this has got an actual piece of reflective plastic in there, so it looks very realistic. We've got the steering wheel with the wood inserts and the Lexus logo in the middle here. Over here, although it's not quite clearly seen, you would have your horn. And then you've got the clocks there with the chromed surrounds. And then below that, I wonder if I can just zoom into the pedals. There you go. So, hang on, let me just get this into zoom. So you've got 3 pedals there. One is the brake, which is the middle one. On your left would be your accelerator, and on the right is just a footrest. But one thing which is missing, or am I wrong? Sorry, I stand corrected. Can't seem to get this to focus properly. Right, there we are. So on the right there is the accelerator. In the middle here is the brake, and on the left here, which you can just about see there, that's the handbrake. So unlike conventional cars where the handbrake is like a pull-up lever, this is a foot-operated handbrake. Hence why you've got 3 pedals, although this car is an auto. And then you've got various small bits of detail here. You've got the air duct there, driver's air duct. Okay, so if I move to the center console now, you've got air duct. You've got the central screen here, where you would control all your heating speeds and heating directions, as well as the audio. I believe this here, that part there, is a push open door which would house your CD player. So normally these cars come with a 6 CD changer, and that's where you would put your CD. Then under that is the ashtray. Over here is another push-up lid type door which would house an ashtray or a cigarette lighter. Then you've got your shifter here, or gear knob, and that's got a couple of buttons there. And this is, by the way, this is all wood surround, okay? Matching wood surround, which would match the steering wheel. It would match this part here of the console, and then it would also match the one on the door as well. And then just behind it, over here, you would have your armrest and also storage, center storage. And then the passenger side door card is very similar to the driver's. Also forgot to point out that this part here is normally for storage. It's quite a big storage. but it doesn't show it quite clearly on this car, but that is actually a storage compartment. And another thing I need to mention, if I can just zoom out a little bit. Another detail of this particular model is this. Adjustable backrests. Okay, so looking at the back seats, we've got seat belt detail there. We've got two rear seat belts, and then you've got the front ones which are tucked just behind the seat there. Okay, now we're going to have a look at the engine compartment. So the bonnet you simply lift and then it holds itself in position. So one of the things I noticed straight away that are missing, and I've seen on some models, particularly Auto Art, is that the bonnets on these Lexus cars are held by gas struts, and they seem to be missing. The hinge is just held by sort of these long hinge type hinges here. So they could have made it better by putting some hinges on there. The actual engine bay, well, clearly you've got an engine cover here, Lexus logo. These are the nuts which hold the cover on. This is just a cover. These are the nuts there, and then you can see clearly here it says 4.3 VVTi. You have the radiator here. Okay, let's start at the front. So we've got the horns here, you've got the fans there, and then we've got the radiator which there's the radiator bracket there, and it runs all the long way there, and then there's another radiator bracket which holds the actual radiator in place. Air intake, the air intake is here, that's where your air filter will be, and I suspect this somehow joins together underneath because you've got the air intake there, so the air flows through here, goes down through the air filter, and then here travels here into the engine. So you've got the air filter there, and there's the air intake which travels into the engine there. You've got the coolant hose there, and I suspect somewhere around there you would have your thermostat. I know these things because it's a very similar setup to the Lexus LS430, which is what I have. Okay, so we've got the power steering reservoir just there. We've got the brake fluid reservoir there. These two are fuse boxes. That also I think is a fuse box. You've got the top of the front struts underneath these two covers here. You've got the battery there. You've got the battery held in place by this plate here. And then you look at the back here, this would be, on the real car, this would be a rubber seal which prevents any water coming down from the windscreen being washed down there, prevents it from coming into the engine. So effectively this rubber seal here, which runs all the way down here and on this side as well, seals the engine from any water ingress. And we can clearly see here we've got a wiper arm there, and then we've got a windscreen wiper arm there. It's quite a detailed engine bay. I'm quite pleased with that. They've in fact they've gone to the trouble of showing these details, which are warning stickers. I suspect this one here would be a radiator cap, and the fluids do not open when hot, or something along those lines. And then these would be some sort of electrical warning stickers. And then on the underside of the bonnet we can see the bonnet liner, which is quite a nice touch. I'm going to move around to the back now and look in the trunk. So as we can see, this is not as big as I thought it might be, because the other day I was looking at a Jaguar XK model, and it's a very similar vehicle in terms of shape, and that boot was quite big, that was quite spacious, whereas on here it's not. We've got a spare wheel in there. I didn't know that, that's news to me. So if you break down, all is not lost. And then you've got some sort of covers here, and I suspect somewhere in there would be a toolkit to help you change your spare wheel if the need arises. Yeah. So there we have it, guys. A review of the Lexus SC430. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments sections and I'll get back to you. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, and consider subscribing to the channel. And I'll see you very shortly on the next one.